Hello everybody and welcome to DC Fine Art. This is going to be the speed painting for the final review for the Paletteful Packs September 2024 box. And this here I'm using the white and the Indian yellow or India yellow hue, and I'm just adding the droplets to the canvas. I had pre-wetted the canvas with a fine mister. And now I'm just taking this brush, and there's no water in it, and it's the water brush, and I'm just kind of swirling it around, just kind of making a pattern. Now, just to let you know, I did let this dry overnight because of how much acrylic paint I have on it, so I definitely wanted it to completely dry before I actually did any kind of detail work to it. This is similar to an abstract painting, except that you kind of look into it and see something, like you're just looking for something, and I made it into a tree. Now, I know it looked like it changed up a little bit. That's only because overnight, the paint's still wet. It will move. So it did move in this way. Now I'm mixing in my blue, my red, and the Indian yellow to create more of a brown kind of look. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to start making out the detail of this tree just by looking at some of these lines and just going with it. I'm just kind of visualizing what's already there. So I'm not really making anything really new up. I'm just emphasizing, oh boy, can't even say that word. I'm emphasizing on all of the darker areas that look like it could be like more of a shadow area. And once the brown dries, if it's still not dark enough, which I noticed that some of the areas were not as dark as what I wanted it to be, all you have to do is just go over the top of some of that brown with your blue, and it definitely makes it a whole lot darker. So that's how you darken it up. Now, some of the lines that I did toss in there, like if I just made a couple more extra little lines and slashes or little dots, that definitely adds a whole lot more texture to it too. So if you see something like that you're just wanting to add more of like a couple little lines going here and there, just to kind of add some tree-like bark or any kind of shadows to it, go for it. But this has really been a fun and quick painting, and it looks pretty cool. At least I think it looks pretty cool. So once I get done with all the browns and everything, I'm going to throw in, and it'll be coming up here soon. I'm going to have to let it dry though, but I will throw in some spooky, maybe little creatures in there, and they're just going to be like shadow creatures. And whenever I was doing this, I was literally thinking, okay, I want to make like an abstract first. And then I thought, you know, I looked at it after I came back in the morning and it looked like a tree. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can go ahead and just make this into a tree and call it Lost, where you get lost in the woods and you see a spooky tree. And then you start thinking, oh my goodness, there's a bunch of eyes lurking in the tree. So it's kind of like fitting with the holiday too. It's kind of a spooky holiday. Now here is where I added in the little creature. I first put them in and I was just putting in like little dots, like not really making out any detail. I mean, you can kind of think, if you're looking at it, maybe it might be a bird, maybe it might be something else. So it kind of lets your imagination do the work for you. I did add in some little white eyes in there, but you couldn't really see them too well. And I wanted it to be a little bit darker. So this is where I went ahead and got some of my blue. And yes, I covered up some of the eyes that I was throwing in there with the blue, just so that way I made it darker, because that dark brown just wasn't dark enough. I wanted to go ahead and stick some more of the blue in there, and you see how this just got so much darker. And then the main little creature in the background has like a little top hat. So some of these I went ahead and threw in another little creature in the back with a little top hat. And I basically went in and added back in my little white dots for any of the little spooky eyes, and that could be hiding in any of the darker areas. And even doubled up some of these eyes. And here is my final abstract slash spooky Lost in the woods tree, I guess. So definitely different, but definitely looks really cool. All right, so I wanted to go ahead and give you my final review on what I think of the products that are in the Paletteful pack for September 2024. And in all reality, I mean, my thoughts, I absolutely love the Golden High Flow. I've never done a painting kind of like this before, so it is definitely completely new to me on using these in this kind of way. I don't normally do abstract paintings, so definitely new there. And then I just kind of made it my own for the holidays, so that's what I seen whenever I looked at it in the morning. And also it kind of fits the lost theme, I think, in a way, on the Paletteful pack prompts. But besides that, these Golden High Flow acrylics are amazing. I absolutely love them. Like I said, for my airbrush, I didn't use my airbrush on this because I wanted to just use the products that they gave me in the box in order to create something really cool with it and just kind of try new things out. So that's why I like getting the Paletteful pack box. I think they did a really good job on putting these in the box. These are really nice acrylics for, like I said, airbrushing or doing stuff like this to get the effect. That's also super nice. And it's also oh my goodness, it's also light fast, so I mean, that's really nice. You can sell them, so if you're an artist that likes to sell your work, you can use these and sell them, so they are light fast. The canvas panels, I mean, of course I use this one and it didn't do bad. I hope that's dry, but just a nice little canvas to play around with, and it did a good job. I mean, I didn't have no issues with it, but like all canvases, just I would always try and lay it flat. I wouldn't try standing it up unless you have like a little easel, but sometimes canvas boards can bow or kind of bend. Even some of the nicer ones that I had still had a little bit of bowing going on with them if you don't lay them flat. And that could be even the Fredericks ones. I think I had one sitting up and it kind of bowed a little bit. So, I mean, it's one of those things. So it's a pretty nice canvas to work with, acid free. Of course, water brushes are all gonna be, even though I didn't put no water in these to use for this painting, I went ahead and put some water in this brush, and just to kind of see how, if it just like pours out or not. And it seems to be really nice, so it doesn't all just pour out. I had ones that if I barely did anything, it just started gushing out water, so that was not cool. The brushes, of course, are really nice. I did use the really fine detail brush in order to get some of these tiny little lines in here, so this definitely helped out in this painting. Now, as far as like the canvas that they gave us, the big one, the only thing I would say is it is really loose. So it's loose on the board. It's a rough texture. It does have dents in it and it is loose, but I don't know if it's just because something was, maybe these acrylic paints were laying on it and kind of stretched out that canvas because of the shipping process. So I can't really give you guys a review on whether or not I really like the canvas or not, because I don't know if this is the way it comes all the time or it's just because of the shipping. Either which way, I wouldn't use it to sell. Definitely not by the way it looks with the loose and then the dents in it. But definitely a nice one to have to practice on, or to spray airbrush or stencil or anything you want to just try out. Good canvas to have laying around to be able to do that instead of using a nicer canvas, you know. So all in all, this is a really great box. Definitely a nice one and a good surprise. So I was a little bit wondering about the last box. I know they gave full products in it, so that's the reason why you had less. So I did not know how it was going to be with the next box, but I can tell you this right now, I absolutely love it. And these paints right here are definitely, especially if you get 4 of them, this is definitely worth it for me. So and plus extra brushes and water brushes, you can't go wrong with that. So absolutely nice. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, share, comment, subscribe. Any of those things help the channel. And I guess until next time, bye you guys.